Welcome to the Alive Loren Podcast, the place of celebrating juicy, soulful, whole living, which is about embracing everything. It's not about not feeling certain things. It's actually about feeling all of it and actually getting comfortable with the uncomfortable and not clinging to the good stuff. So it certainly is about inclusivity and diversity, embracing and celebrating whole living. So my son shared with me, I've mentioned already this commencement speech that this naval officer gave the graduating class one year at Texas University, where he'd graduated many years previous. And it's just so interesting because there are a number of things that at the time I took away, but the thing that's really, really stuck with me was he spoke about how there'd be this uniform inspection. And it wasn't like an everyday thing. It was more spaced out, but you'd be like fully uniformed. And the guys used to spend ages like polishing buckles and buttons and badges and starching their hats. And it actually didn't matter. Like no one was passing uniform inspection. And time again, it just wasn't good enough. And time again, they had to like run into the sea, run back out, drop on the sand, roll around. So it was called like you were a sugar cookie. So it's like a beach sand version of a sugar cookie. And walk around the rest of the day, soaking wet, sanded. And the thing that really struck me with this was that like, if what keeps someone doing their uniform duty over and over again to the best of their ability, even trying to do it better than the time before, when you know, you're like 99.99999%, like for literally 100%, you're going to be a sugar cookie. Like what keeps you doing it? I think it's such like a profound, deep lesson in doing your best regardless. Like your best is through the satisfaction, the joy, the fulfillment comes from doing it to the best of your ability, not what happens afterwards. Because it changes everything. Because if the whole feelings of worth and fulfillment and satisfaction are completely dependent on afterwards, like how your uniform is going to be judged, if that's the only thing that makes you feel good or bad or accomplished or a failure, is that outcome of the external people, then it absolutely like affects your spirit, the way you show up to do it, everything. But like if your sense of fulfillment is coming completely from knowing you have given your best, you couldn't do it any better with your state of mind and being and everything that was available to you. Like, yes, some days we do. We've got more energy and stamina, and some days things are just a bit slower and take a bit longer. If the sense of fulfillment and accomplishment comes from the showing up to do it with your absolute fullest, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all what the outcome is afterwards. And it's like irrelevant to it. The sense of satisfaction and joy and content and just everything. Wow. So I think it really kind of stayed with me a lot because in the speech it was more given as, sometimes you'll give your all and you fail. But like you've just got to keep trying or like not give up. And I don't know, there was just a different aspect to it for me. And just, showing up to all of life. And then the Mickey Singer upload from this week is about enjoying the journey. And Mickey was talking about very similarly this thread of getting the fulfillment from the work itself. And the example he was giving was like, if someone's going like for an audition, like say musically, you just have fun. You have fun. It's like irrelevant whether you get offered a record label or whether someone thinks that you're so useless you should just play at kiddies' parties. That your sense of accomplishment and joy and fun is actually totally independent. The outcome is irrelevant. But it's such an interesting balance because although the outcome is irrelevant, it doesn't mean that the degree of dedication has a lack of enthusiasm or like concentrated will and effort. It's such an interesting mix. It's actually, you get the fulfillment precisely because you're doing it to the best of your ability. And it is absolutely not connected, completely disassociated from the outcome. Oh my God. And that marriage of, it's like, it's huge. It's huge. That there's this divorce between the satisfaction and the outcome. So it's not dependent on the accolade and the response. And I know I'm saying this over and over. It's just like, it's so massive. And it reminds me, one of my favorite, I haven't seen this movie in a long time, favorite animation, Surf's Up, was like this reality TV show, surf movie, where they went to find all these young, up-and-coming surfing penguins all over the world. And then there was this chicken, this like male chicken, like a rooster who would surf, and he was the only like rooster. All of them were penguins. And he just loved to surf. It's just the most phenomenal, because spoiler alert, if you're ever going to watch, it's like he lands up winning this title, but it's completely insignificant to him. He's the complete embodiment of it. He just completely lives so in the moment, and he's just surfing for the absolute sheer, like, exhilaration of the surf. And he shows up with a full heart and full everything to every set of waves because he just loves to surf. And whether he won or didn't win, it's absolutely like, doesn't matter. It's a total significant. It's a non-entity to the whole thing. Wow. And then speaking about getting the fulfillment from the doing, I was just thinking so much with like the B Corps and the 1,000 B Corps in Europe. Because to be a B Corp and go through the certification process, it's not simple. It's very rigorous, and no one's awarding you. You're not doing it because you're going to get some sort of accolades and you're going to get tax incentives from the government. There's none of that. You're doing it because you believe in it, and you're getting the satisfaction and fulfillment through actually going through the process and getting the fulfillment of like, wow, where do we stand in alignment with what these other group of people where we're all valuing and want to put people and planet and community as part of the stakeholder equation. And then that equally, it's not because of the outcome, it's because of the satisfaction of just being on that path because it's in line with who you are. And then celebrating, it's not a traditional B Corp or business, a profit business. It's actually like a social enterprise, and it is a non-profit. But it's just really lovely. I walked past it today. There's this beautiful store in this beautiful area of Tel Aviv, and it's all these handmade baskets, bags, and it's a whole upliftment project where there's so many female African asylum seekers. Most of them, like all of them, survivors of human trafficking. And this project was started to give them a sense of dignity, to empower them economically, socially, psychologically, socially, uplift them. Also through art and through using your hands as a creative outlet for healing, the therapy of healing trauma. And they make these beautiful bags, Kuchinate. It's Kuchinate, Kuchinate.com. It stands for crochet in Eritrean, one of the Eritrean languages. And they make these most exquisite items, and all of it is around African themes, and they do these art, like activations, and they also do this like coffee ceremony where they encircle, like invite people, and that there's like open conversation and sharing, and that people, because there's a large population of these female asylum seekers in South Tel Aviv, and this woman who started this program to offer them empowerment and upliftment, and a lot of them are single moms. And it's really beautiful, these coffee ceremonies about then engaging and sharing space and getting to know more about these people and their lives. So it's absolutely beautiful. And they're on, also there's an Instagram page, some beautiful videos and clips on their website. But there again, even though they may not traditionally be a B Corp or like a for-profit business, but just the whole concept of using enterprise to uplift. And there again, like if you are going to buy something, it just reminds me as well as Gifts for Good, which is an online corporate gifting solution, which also all the gifts have got some sort of empowerment, upliftment aspect. So like, yeah, definitely, like if I would get a gift or I need a new bag, I would want to see what they have. And even if something costs twice the price because it's handmade, but people are paid a fair living wage, I would rather buy one thing instead of 5 that are cheap, and just one thing that lasts well and that I know my purchase is contributing and making a difference. So, precious hearts, here is to showing up with fullness of being and gaining the satisfaction and joy, the sense of delicious fulfillment and contentment and satisfaction from the work itself, from showing up with a full heart, regardless of the accolades, acknowledgements thereafter, and may, if they be anything, the insignificant, unsubstantial cherries on the top, the totally unnecessary ones. And here is, when we do make purchases, seeing if it's not possible for us to purchase in ways that uplift and inspire. Happy adventuring, precious soul, until we meet again. Mwah.